a vision to come sit in this exact spot and to just talk. I don't exactly know what I'm going to talk about. And there may be a lot of spaces in between my words and sentences. There may be other sounds, other birds around, sounds of other people. So I'm just going to take in my environment and to allow my body to receive any messages that want to come through, want to be shared. We live in a very busy world these days. There's always a lot to do. And even if there's not a lot to do, sometimes it can feel like there still is a lot to do. Like there's always more. The never-ending to-do list. And yet, even though we've become so advanced in our minds and have this incredible ability to create so many things in our physical reality, it seems like the most powerful thing we can do is to be still, is to observe nature and to allow ourselves to be a part of it, instead of cutting ourselves off from it. And when you allow yourself to start engaging with nature, consciously and intentionally, not in the form of taking, but in a conversation and a mutual agreement. That's when her power becomes clearer, more apparent. And that's when you start to realize how vital she is for your own life, for your own being. And that all these to-do lists wouldn't exist if she didn't exist. Sometimes the mind can be loud, and sometimes the loudness, the noise is in the form of those to-do lists or any kind of chatter, sounds, instructions, opinions, beliefs. And the more we seem to advance our technologies and accumulate and consume in our lives, the louder the mind seems to become. We may not even be aware of it sometimes. Like so many sounds overlapping until it's all a jumble, just background noise that we've become used to. And so layer by layer, as you step more into stillness, into letting yourself be without expectation or pressure of what you think that's supposed to look like, how you're supposed to show up, what you're supposed to say, how you're supposed to think. The more you let go of all of that, the more those layers clear and you are once again able to articulate the thoughts you are having. And you are able to redevelop that discernment. What thoughts would I like to keep around? Or what thoughts would I like to take action on? And what thoughts would I like to say farewell to? I think it's important to realize that our thinking mind is neither good nor bad. It's quite neutral. Well, it can be anyway. It may not always feel like it. But what if you could just observe your thoughts as though they were neither good or bad or right or wrong. Just thoughts coming in, passing by. Maybe you recognize then your resistance or the resistance you've carried in the past to certain thoughts, to certain emotions. That could very well be what makes them so challenging, so uncomfortable. Even as I sit here, I have different thoughts coming in. Why am I sitting here? What am I doing? What am I saying? So many of us are so trained to doubt ourselves and criticize ourselves and judge ourselves and one another. Like we can never get it right. But I guess conversely, we can never get it wrong in that sense. It's interesting how so many of us are afraid just to be in the world, to be ourselves. Almost seems like so many of us lose ourselves in the doing, in the perceived expectations and pressures, in the fear of judgment, in the fear of many things. And I feel called to remind you that you're allowed to be curious. You're allowed to look around and to observe. You're allowed to express yourself and your needs. And what really matters is the intention behind it. What is your intention? And when I say that, I mean, when you choose to take an action, speak a sentence, where is that coming from? What would you like to achieve with that? Is it from defensiveness? Is there a part of you that is afraid, that is hurt, and your response is coming from that place? Or is your intention joy? Are you doing something, saying something because you are joyous? You are in love. You feel alive. And you want to share that and express that. Isn't there such a big difference when you come from a place of fear, which can have many layers, and so that self-inquiry practice can go quite deep. maybe on the surface level there's joy and excitement and it feels good. But maybe underneath that there's a nervousness. There is a fear, there is a worry, a stress. So it's finding that balance. Of course, we want to be aware of our minds and of our actions and what our intent is behind them. But over-analyzing everything, over-analyzing ourselves, our existence, can be the very thing that contributes and cycles us back to that very fear that we are trying to avoid. Isn't that a little bit ironic? My intention here is to offer a peaceful reminder in a loud, busy, sometimes seemingly scary world. My intention is to offer a meditation, a moment of stillness where you can feel yourself breathe, where you can feel the air on your skin, the warmth in your hands, the breath that gives you life. And I believe the more we come back to the simple foundations of what it means to be alive as a human, as an animal, the more we simplify, the more peace we can bring into our hearts, the more peace we can bring into this world. You may like to reflect for yourself, maybe write down in a diary or journal any reflections, any notes, any questions you have for yourself that you would like to explore. Any expressions you have. And know that there is love in this moment. Maybe it doesn't look in the way you think it might look. But if you focus on the love within your body, the very act of you being alive, then you can start to resonate in harmony with all the different expressions of love around you. And so I will leave it there for today. Taking a deep breath in and a long breath out.